Hello, and welcome to the Rankin Report for Sunday, November the 12th, 2023. And for our veterans that are out there, if you're watching, and for the families of veterans that have passed, I hope you had a happy Veterans Day. It is always good to honor those who have served their country. From the book of Hosea, chapter 10, verses 12 to 14. Sow with a view to righteousness. Reap in accordance with kindness. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord until he comes to rain righteousness on you. You have plowed wickedness. You have reaped injustice. You have eaten the fruit of lies. Because you have trusted in your way, in your numerous warriors. Therefore, a tumult will arise among your people, and all your fortresses will be destroyed. Here in Texas, we just got through the second hottest summer on record here. The Houston area, the major city closest to where we are located, racked up 45 days of 100-plus degree temperatures with little to no rain to turn the furnace down. And since the high-pressure dome that appears to like vacationing in Texas seems to have expanded its grip across the midsection of the nation, those of you who are not Texans can probably sympathize. Now, however, God be praised that he is sending much-needed rain, and Lord willing, it will be enough to end the drought in our little community. In the passage I just read from Hosea, God describes the release of his righteousness to be like rain that gives life to the land and is needed to grow crops. It is just as much a refreshing for the people as showers are that break a long drought. Remember Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. When there is a drought, the smart person does not focus on the current conditions, the brown grass that crunches when you walk on it, the crops or flowers you planted that produce little to nothing, the utter lifelessness of the land. Instead, the smart person shifts his or her focus to who controls the rain the land needs and cries out to the Lord for rain, and he sends it. The recent elections were a disappointment to those looking for the turning of the nation to begin, especially in Ohio, where efforts to write abortion and recreational marijuana into the state constitution were apparently successful. And those who advocate for abortion are probably crowing like a national convention of roosters. Although, let me say that if I ever met Mike Lindell, I would ask him point blank if there is any evidence of the same shenanigans with the Ohio votes as there were in some races in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. The next presidential election is 1 year away, and even though most folks now see the interference and tampering in the last one, people are already wary of what the enemies of the nation are planning to put the fix in this time around. And if the folks at YouTube insist on temporarily banning me for that statement like y'all did the last time I made similar contents, sorry, not sorry. It's still the truth. There's other platforms that don't censor, you know. We who call ourselves believers, do we believe? Is the Lord the God of the United States, or isn't he? Then we are not to focus on the setbacks, but on the goal. As the rallying cry from the civil rights movement put it, eyes on the prize. The current conditions are still out there. The wickedness, the greed, the lust for earthly power, the abominations written into law, and the increasingly open, growing hatred of God and his Son by those who have been told lies about him and this country. We are not to focus on them, but to cry out even more to God. Remember the blind man who heard that Jesus was passing by and who called out to him for a healing. Luke chapter 18:39. From that passage, those who led the way rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me!" And he received his sight again. Press in. Cry out to God all the more. Continue to do what he tells you, regardless of how things look. Doing this prepares the land for the reign of righteousness. It will come. And those rains must be in his timing, just as a drought is broken by sustained rain for days, renewing life to dry places. So the pouring out of righteousness must be done for long periods until the influence of wickedness and our own sins is washed away and the land is cleansed. This is not a time for what we normally think of as a revival. A week where a church brings in a guest speaker or evangelist, preaching mostly to the congregation, maybe a handful of others, getting only a few won to the Lord. We need the outpouring that lasts for weeks, months, even years. We need a drought buster. We need the Great Awakening. And when it comes, the people will see that the merely earthly things they trusted in are of little worth. For it is the Lord who gives life to the land and to the nation and its people. He is the one to fear, and he is the one to put our trust in. Pray for the Great Awakening. No king but Jesus. Independence forever. That's the Rankin Report for Sunday, November the 12th, 2023. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like these, or the share button if you wish to share them. God bless you. Have a great day.